feel like I just had my priorities all wrong for a very long time, and I'm just now coming to terms with it. And you know, I feel like lately, this is the age, like 2015, 2016, is the age of, you know, my life isn't perfect, but I'm sure as hell gonna make it look like it is, and hope that people believe it. At the end of the day, you really don't know how much it took someone to get out of bed today, to put on their face, to put on their clothes, and just walk out that door, because, you know, for some people, that's the riskiest thing that they have done, that they will do, is just step outside the door of their house and into the world. Okay, so there I was, like 10 minutes ago, sitting in this chair, talking, you know, mid-tangent about something, and then I realized, like, all of a sudden, just dawned on me that there's a slice of pizza in the fridge that I left there last night, and so I went downstairs and I ate it, and now I'm back. I feel like this is a great opportunity for me and you to just have a great conversation about what it means to be a woman. So recently I've been doing a lot of thinking. I feel like the window of time between like when it's socially acceptable to stay up and be an insomniac and then, you know, then some, I feel like that's the time period that owns my thoughts, and it's always around 4 a.m. that I'm sitting up and I'm just like, wow. Life. It's a crazy beast, you know? Recently I've been really hung up on the idea of just like me and how I am and how I look and how I feel and just stuff like that, and just, you know, I shouldn't be thinking so much about these things, but obviously I am because I'm a female and that's what we do, we overthink. You know, when you get like an eyelash in your eye and it's like the most painful freaking thing ever, it's like the littlest tiniest thing, but it's like in your eyeball and you're like, oh my god, this is the worst thing ever, my life is over, I have an eyelash in my eye. Like, I feel like that feeling is how I felt lately in terms of like, just something's bothering me. Like, I don't know what is bothering me, but some little thing is just like nagging at my eyeball and it's just kind of driving me nuts. So, you know, that's what I'm trying to debunk in this video today. I'm just trying to talk about what's been bothering me. I could be so superficial with the entire thing and say I've just felt ugly lately. I feel like my life right now is a novel with like 20 chapters, since I'm 20 years old. Haha, look at that. 20 chapters of me feeling ugly. Katie feeling ugly year 1. Katie feeling ugly year 2. Year 17, you're 18, you're 19. I feel like that's where I'm at right now. I feel like every year it's a new thing. Like, it's a new feeling of me feeling ugly. And when I say ugly, it's not even like a physical thing necessarily. I guess I do kind of always feel like I'm comparing myself and how I look and stuff like that, but it's also an internal thing. But I felt very ugly lately because I have been hating myself, and I have been just constantly hating myself so much to the point where I want to reinvent myself, and then I hate the person I've reinvented, and then I go back to hating myself. And, you know, I feel like that has been my ugly characteristic in chapter 20 of my life so far. I single-handedly destroy my own happiness. I get frustrated, I get angry, like any other human does. But I feel like lately I have been, you know, avoiding the issue. I have been saying, oh, I feel this weird nagging feeling of unhappiness because of my lack of a boyfriend, because of my inability to do well on tests. My X, Y, and Z problem is because of this, and I have been, you know, kind of giving myself a free pass. I've been like, oh, it's probably not me that's the reason for my unhappiness, and that's the root of my unhappiness. And, you know, sometimes you just gotta be real with yourself and be like, you know, I am the only person holding me back. I am the reason why I'm unhappy, and I'm the reason why I'm just constantly pissed at everything. Because it's so much easier, guys. It's so much easier to blame things on other people and to be like, oh, this is why I'm unhappy with how I look. This is why I'm unhappy with how I am. And I've been avoiding the real issue, which is myself. You know, I've been trying to reinvent myself and recreate myself and do my hair differently and, you know, wear something different, buy more clothes, do this, do that, and all these temporary fixes when I really need to evaluate myself, not reinvent myself, reevaluate what I've got and what I'm working with. I feel like I just had my priorities all wrong for a very long time, and I'm just now coming to terms with it. And, you know, I feel like lately, this is the age, like 2015, 2016, is the age of, you know, my life isn't perfect, but I'm sure as hell gonna make it look like it is, and hope that people believe it. I feel like if 2016, like, it had a word, like if I could label a word and attribute a word to 2016 so far, it's only been like a month or 2 months or whatever, but I feel like that word would be aesthetic. In all of my comm classes, all of my classes at school, all my friends, everyone, no one will shut up about this word aesthetic. And, you know, not even just the word aesthetics. I feel like that has its own meaning, but the whole concept surrounding aesthetic, you know, Instagram themes, you know, how you look and how you act and how it, you know, just has this vibe, you know, that you give off a vibe, and like you want your aesthetic, your vibe to be something that's just so cool that people can't ignore it. And, you know, I feel like that has been like my ultimate goal lately, is having a great aesthetic, a great vibe to me, when I've like kind of been ignoring and just glossing over the fact that I kind of have to be a decent human on the inside and not just look like a decent human. But, you know, it's so much more important to show people that we do have a heart and we do have goals and dreams and values and things. And, you know, for a long time when I was younger, I you know, I had this obsession with this idea that someone could look at me and think, wow, she's beautiful. And, you know, that's what I wanted for so long. And, you know, now I've kind of realized that it's deeper than that. And if you guys are going through a similar feeling to me, you know, that nagging feeling that just something's missing and something's wrong, maybe it's because you spent way more time picking your Instagram filter today than thinking about something kind you can do to someone else. I've focused my life recently more. I've made it a personal kind of goal. I'm really big on that, setting like personal little goals for myself. Like, oh, this week I'm just gonna do this lesson, do this more. And like 2 weeks ago I was like, oh, I'm gonna read a book every week for the next few weeks, and I've done it. And it feels really great to do what you've said you wanted to do. My personal goal recently has been to do more good things for other people that they don't expect. Because there's nothing more awesome and beautiful than to do something kind to someone who A, might not be very kind to you, or B, just didn't see it coming and didn't expect that you would do something for them. You know, it's a beautiful feeling personally, like if I'm gonna be selfish about it. It feels really good to do good things, but it also just supports a better world, a better place to live, because if one person's kind, it's a chain reaction and it just goes on and on. It's like the other day when I was in the Starbucks line and this lady in front of me, I want to say a Honda minivan or something of that sort, she paid for my order, and, you know, I paid for the person behind me. And it's so funny because later that day, my group me for my sorority, like probably 6 or 7 hours later, that the chain was still going, and this one random Starbucks in Burlington, North Carolina. You know, it's just crazy how one kind thing can lead to so many more. It sounds so cliche, but I have found my beauty in doing kind things for other people. And I think personally that this needs to be a movement. This needs to be something that travels beyond just us. Whether you're too proud to admit it or not, you're going to be the best thing, the most magical thing that has happened to someone someday. And, you know, by the time I get to be that person for someone, because right now I can tell you I'm not in a place to be that person for someone, just because of just where I'm at right now and with my priorities and what I'm doing and who I've come into contact with. I feel like it's just not my time right now. But when it is my time, I want to be in that relationship and know that I deserve it so much, because I have done my best. I've done my part to be just a good human being, which I urge you to try it, because it's really not that hard. You know, people will see that. People will see you and respect you more, and I promise that. Like, if you feel like you're going through your life and you feel invisible and you feel inadequate, or just like you're not sure of who you are, be kind, and I promise you, you will become visible. You will become something that people will not want to live without. You know, people are constantly searching for the missing piece or the ingredient that they can put in their smoothies that will make them more loved and more wanted, and, you know, not forgotten in, you know, the pack of everyone else in this planet. But really the only thing you need to do is to be kind. And if you are kind, people will want to spend time with you, I promise. You know, people will go to you when things are hard, and people will just want to be surrounded by you, because if you're kind and you radiate kindness, what kind of person would not want to spend time with you? You know, in terms of beauty, if you are feeling ugly, if you are feeling just in a rut, just stuck, be kind. Just do something nice for someone, you know, and do something unexpectedly nice for someone. At the end of the day, you really don't know how much it took someone to get out of bed today, to put on their face, to put on their clothes, and just walk out that door, because, you know, for some people, that's the riskiest thing that they have done, that they will do, is just step outside the door of their house and into the world. So at the end of the day, you're feeling ugly. This is in a nutshell, this whole video in a nutshell, if you kind of tuned out for the last however many minutes. At the end of the day, do more of what makes you feel happy to be on this planet. And for me, recently, feeling happy has been attributed to, you know, how many times a day, how many times a week I can do something kind for someone else, and do something to just make someone else smile. Because I feel like if you make one person smile in your day, you have had a successful day, regardless of how many tests you failed, how many things you've hit with your car, and just stuff like that. You know, just being kind, I promise you, it will get you far. Every time you get that feeling where that little voice in your head is saying, Katie, that was awesome, do that again, I liked that. You know, that's it. That's all you need. That's what you need, and that's your calling. That's what makes me feel truly beautiful. EcoTools actually has this campaign called #MyTrueBeauty, and I, as you guys know, work with EcoTools. I think they're really awesome, a very awesome brand that really just gets their stuff. This is Women's Empowerment Month, and EcoTools understands how important it is for women to just feel like they rock, because they do, we do. I'm a little biased, but we do. So I think it'd be really cool to utilize the comments of this video and of all my social media this month, posting about our #MyTrueBeauty stories. So if you have a story or a time, or not even just a story, but just like a sentiment that you have to share about what it means to you to feel beautiful, comment that below with the #MyTrueBeauty or on any of my social media posts this month, and we can have a really cool conversation about what it really truly feels like to feel beautiful. The awesome thing is we can share our stories and impact so many more people than just us, and that's awesome. So thanks for watching this video. I hope you guys all enjoyed, and I'll see you guys all next week. Bye!